Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com, and it is time for this month's Tarotscope video for August 2024. I'm going to go through every astrological sign and pull two cards for each sign. And I'm going to start with Aries and end with Pisces. And there's these convenient little timestamps at the bottom of your screen of which you can quickly go to your relevant message. And if you want an even more accurate reading, you might also want to listen to the message for your astrological moon sign and rising sign as well. So without further ado, let's go into the Tarotscopes for August 2024. First, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aries. So if you're an Aries or have a lot of Aries in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August 2024. And the card we get here is the Hierophant card. And the Hierophant is the teacher of the tarot. He's also the card of faith. And he can indicate that right now, at this time, in this month, you're going to need to exercise your own faith, faith in yourself, but also faith in your dream. The faith that the Hierophant represents is often tested when we don't have an external confirmation that everything's going to be okay. And it's at those times that you really need to dig deep and to really summon that inner faith that things are going to work out. It might also be a time to just get on your own team, Aries, where you're really believing in yourself, believing in what's possible and what you can do. The Hierophant is also traditional and stubborn, so once he has his belief system set up or his mind set on something, he does not relent until he gets it. And so too for you, this could be a time where you're really establishing a new routine or a new belief system around what you can accomplish and what you can do. The next card for Aries is going to be advice from your inner wisdom for this month of August. And we get the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords wears the butterfly crown. She's a master at transforming the energy from feeling victimized by life to feeling victorious over it. She's also a leader card, and she's independent, much like Aries. You can see that one solitary bird in the sky behind her in the distance, and that represents her own independence. And I just kind of feel like this might be a month where you do feel like you're going it alone, Aries. This is a time to be independent, but also it is a month to have faith in yourself, have faith in your goals, take charge, roll up your sleeves and get to work on whatever it is that your greatest goal is. The Queen of Swords says that you will march your way to victory, but you might need to get organized in your thinking, and you might also need to take a logical approach to achieving that which the Hierophant is guiding you toward. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August. And the card we get here is the Six of Wands. And on this card, we can see a man who's in a parade. He's being cheered on by most people. He's being celebrated because something that he's done has made him special. He's head and shoulders above the rest. He's wearing the laurel wreath crown of victory. And most people are really happy for him. They're celebrating him. There is that one stinker behind him who's looking up at him with a face of envy, however. And so too for you, Taurus, this next month, it might be a time where you're shining. It might be a time to step into your own self-confidence, but it's also a time not to be limited by the weakened egos of other people who might be envying what you're doing or what you've accomplished. The Six of Wands is telling you not to make yourself feel small, but to really take space and to be confident. This is also a card of self-esteem. So any work you're considering doing, Taurus, on your self-esteem, on something that you're trying to develop, this is a good month to do that. And finally, Six of Wands is a great card for self-promotion, whether you're promoting a business or promoting yourself in a resume or even just promoting an idea right now. It's so important that you're going forward boldly and confidently with it. But I just feel like this is a month where you don't want to hide out or be too introspective. You want to be seen. You want to throw your hat in the ring. And I feel like success is going to find you when you're bold and courageous. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Taurus for this next month of August, is also the Eight of Pentacles. And this is the work card in the tarot. You can see the craftsman here. He's in his shop, in his studio, and he's got that hammer and chisel. And he's just hammering away at the chisel to finish the job. And what that repeated blows of the hammer can symbolize is consistent effort. And so for you, Taurus, I just feel like this is a time to just grind away at the job at hand. It can also just indicate that there's a lot of work to do this next month, and you need to be really courageous and just go for it. Just hammer it home. Finally, the Eight of Pentacles can indicate that this is a really great month to focus on your career or on a long-term goal or plan. And it's not necessarily your talents or anything else that's really going to make this a big success. Oftentimes, this card will say success will come with consistency. So it's by outworking the problem or just hammering away at it consistently. That's what's going to bring success for you. So I do feel it's a busy month for you, Taurus, but I also feel like you could bask in the limelight with the success that you're creating. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August 2024. And we get the star reversed. Now, when the star is upright, it's a card of immortality and hope and spirituality and transcendence. And when it comes up reversed, it can indicate that there is one part of your life that's feeling lopsided. The woman on the star card has 1 foot on the dry land, but also 1 foot in that spiritual universal pool. And when this card comes up reversed, it can indicate that one of these realms is overemphasized at this time. So this is a time, Gemini, to identify what feels out of balance. Are you so focused on the mundane right now, some sort of external success? Are you really rooting your whole identity in something externally, something outside of you that you don't have control of? Is life just becoming a grind or too boring, that you're neglecting your spirit, you're neglecting your higher self or your ability to transcend? The star really calls you back to that. And conversely, sometimes this card can say that you're just too much in your spirituality, too much in your feelings, too much woo-woo going on, and you're forgetting to pay your bills or deal with things on a practical level. So the star card will ask you to identify what is lopsided, what needs your focus at this time. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Gemini, is actually the Queen of Cups. And she's the queen of emotions, queen of feelings. She can indicate that right now, it's so important that you're checking within with your own emotions, with your own feelings. It's important that those feelings are given voice. The Queen of Cups holds the most elaborately decorated chalice in the tarot, and she views feelings as sacred. And not just the positive, joyful feelings, but also feelings like grief or sadness or loss. And I just feel for you, Gemini, this is an important month for some emotional healing. Number one, it comes from balance by rebalancing that star reversed and also seeing the hope that still remains for you in your life. But number two, it also comes from listening to your instincts, listening to your emotions, and also nurturing yourself. The Queen of Cups is an unsurpassed mother figure in the tarot, and she can indicate that this is a time for you to really give yourself what you're needing. And I just feel like if you hear your feelings, if you spend some time really gearing into them, listening to them, attuning to them, I feel like that balance is going to be restored for you. So it's just so important that you're listening to your more sensitive side this next month. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer or have a lot of Cancer in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August. And we got the Seven of Wands. And this is a card of choosing to take the high road. The figure on this card is on the top of the mountain, and he's defending his position on the high road. And he's being challenged. You know, there's these nameless, faceless people who are trying to knock him off of the top of the mountain, and yet he's holding his ground. This is a card that says that it's so important for you to stay in your integrity this next month and to stand firm in it. The figure on the Seven of Wands also wears two different shoes, which means that he's a nonconformist. He doesn't walk the same path that everybody else does. He goes his own way. And so too for you, I just kind of feel like it's so important that you're independently acting this next month. And even if it feels like you're going against the grain, and even if it feels like you're going against some of your instincts or even your feelings at this time or emotions, it's so important that you're choosing the high road, that you're staying and maintaining that integrity, staying with that integrity and maintaining it as well, I should say. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Cancer, for this next month is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is a card of unexpected changes. There is definitely change in the air for you, Cancer, and some of it you might have been seeing coming, and some of it might feel a bit random. But the Wheel of Fortune is also an incredibly fortunate card. And what might appear as a random, chaotic event at this time is actually destined. It's actually meant to be. And it's actually going to be really lucky for you in the end. The Wheel of Fortune will always encourage you to find your center. And that's a symbol for the center of the wheel, the hub of the wheel. If you can be in the eye of the storm, instead of hitched to the external part of the wheel, the rim of the wheel, which represents the external world and other people and their choices and things you have no control over, if you can find your center, you'll be unaffected by the ups and downs that are happening around you. So I just feel like you need to find that sanctuary, emotionally speaking, Cancer, especially this next month, and to stay in your integrity as well. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo. So if you're a Leo or have a lot of Leo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August. And we get the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands is a card of inspiration. All aces in the tarot are really good to get, and they represent new beginnings, a fresh start. And in the case of the Ace of Wands, there's a new passion that's entering your life. Ace of Wands can also indicate that there is a magic wand being offered to you at this time in your life, of which you get to change your life utterly. The new beginning that's being offered to you is going to be much better than the old ways. Because on this card, you can see an old, ruined, shelled out tower in the distance. And what that indicates is that your happiness isn't going to be found in the crumbling ruins of what came before. But instead, there's a new, fresh breeze blowing through your life, and you want to take advantage of it. This card also represents magical inspiration, creativity. But like all magic spells in the fairy tale, there's a time limit on it. And we all know the story of Cinderella, and she's only got till midnight, otherwise her carriage becomes a pumpkin again. The same happens with this magic wand that's being offered to you. You have this time right now to act with some urgency to make this thing happen. And I think if you do, you're going to succeed. The advice from your inner wisdom this next month of August, if you're a Leo, is the Eight of Wands. This is a card of things speeding up. And notice we have two Wands cards here. Wands, that when they come in clusters, they represent growth and sometimes even growing pains. In the case of the Eight of Wands, there's momentum. There's this energy that's flowing, and you need to keep up with it. This is also a card of disseminating a lot of information in a short amount of time and then acting on it. But I feel a fresh breeze is blowing through your life, and it's time to give yourself over to what you're passionate about again. The Eight of Wands shows the 8 wands all in alignment, like arrows, ready to hit their target. So this could be a time where you're getting really focused and directed in your energy toward what your goal actually is, and then to act on it, move without equivocation. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or have a lot of Virgo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August. And we get the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Now, all aces in the tarot are good to get, but in the case of the Ace of Pentacles reversed, it could indicate that you're inspired to take action, maybe on a new opportunity or with your career or some sort of change that you want to make, but there is a danger of you talking yourself out of your best success. Also, Ace of Pentacles reverse can indicate that there is an opportunity that's starting to grow, it's starting to sprout, but the time hasn't come yet. And so this card can represent a need for patience, much like all successful Pentacles cards in the tarot. Ace of Pentacles reverse could also say it's just time to raise your standards where your career is concerned. If you're feeling underappreciated or like you're not getting back that which you're putting in, Ace of Pentacles reverse can indicate that it's time to start to shift your focus. Oftentimes this card can foretell a new opportunity, a new job, or a new path that might work better for you. But you have to acknowledge what isn't working right now before you're able to take steps towards what is going to be more fulfilling for you in the future. And yet, either way, it's still an ace. And so I do feel like there is a new beginning that's in the air, and it's just a matter of time before it fully manifests. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Virgo for this next month, is the Magician reversed. And Magician reverse can represent a time in your life where you need to be very mindful of where your thoughts are going. Because your thoughts are magic spells. They're totally going out into the world and they're creating the reality you're experiencing. Sometimes when the Magician reverse comes up, it can leave you feeling like you're not in control, or that your thoughts are just on automatic and you're not really conscious of what you're thinking. This card is very magical, and it's so important that you're self-aware of the energy you're bringing to the world. You might think people can't read your mind and that you have your thoughts all to yourself, but they can read your body language. They can read how you're carrying yourself. They can also read the energy around you. And so Magician Reversed is all about refocusing your energy toward empowerment. What makes you feel like you have control again, or that you're back in the driver's seat? This is a time to get back on track. And it's also time to stay really focused on what your new goals are. Be very mindful of where your thoughts go, because that is going to really dictate what your opportunities look like, especially as we go into the fall. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Libra. So if you're a Libra or have a lot of Libra in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August 2024. And we get the Seven of Pentacles. This is a card of effort and hard work. And we can see the figure here. He's trying to grow this crop, and it's not quite ready for harvest yet. And yet he's leaning on his garden tool. He's seen the progress that's been made, and he's happy with it. And so this card can be a card of patience, waiting as something's cultivating. The bread is baking in the oven. It won't taste very good if you try to force it through right now. Take your time this next month. It's also a card that says that you're planting seeds that are going to be successful in time, but you need to be patient as they're sprouting. Seven of Pentacles is a very successful card, but it also requires a time investment and a lot of patience. And so I just kind of feel like the things you're initiating, the things that you're starting this August, they're going to be things that you're really needing to cultivate over time. You need to be patient with those, but they're also going to be growing beautifully, so you can feel confident with the direction they're moving in. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Libra for the month of August, is also the Queen of Pentacles. So we have two Pentacles cards here. You know, Pentacles in the tarot, they represent coins. They can represent prosperity, the earth element, getting grounded, getting back in touch with nature, and also feeling like you're on stable footing. The Queen of Pentacles is focused on the coin in her lap, meaning she's focused on her goal. She's focused on a dream, the thing that she wants to manifest. And all is growing in her garden. And much like with that Seven of Pentacles, her garden isn't in full bloom yet. But the patient Queen of Pentacles isn't too stressed out about it. And yet, there's that little rabbit in the card as well, in the corner, that can symbolize anxiety or nervous energy. And this could just indicate that, you know, there are going to be some anxieties this next month. Is everything growing okay? Am I invested in the right thing? How is everything going to play out in the end? And yet, like the gentle Queen of Pentacles, you need to tune the rabbit out. You need to stay focused on what the goal is. What is it that you're trying to manifest here? Rabbits are also symbols for fertility and abundance. So I just kind of feel like your life is growing again. Something is being cultivated. And it may take a few months and some time to fully see what manifests as a result of it. And yet, this combination of cards is saying that things are growing beautifully and prosperity is there as well. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August. And we get the Nine of Cups. And the figure on the Nine of Cups is seated before a table set with 9 golden cups all in a row. They're like trophies. And it's almost as if he's setting the table for a future banquet. And I've often heard this card called the wish card. It's about setting intentions. And I feel like you need to set your intentions as if you're setting a table for a banquet. You're needing to get all your ducks in a row, Scorpio, for what it is you're trying to manifest. There's this old saying from Auntie Mame, from Rosalind Russell, that life is a banquet and most poor suckers are starving to death. And so the Nine of Cups is telling you to stop starving yourself. Enjoy the banquet right now. Enjoy what you're already cultivating. This is a great month to set intentions for your future success. And I just feel like everything that you're going to be touching, especially in these next 8 weeks or so, is going to start to turn to gold. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Scorpio, is another Cups card. So 2 Cups cards can really indicate that this is a little bit more of a sensitive time for you, an emotional time. Might be a time as well when you're more invested in your feelings. In the case of the Page of Cups, this is also a card of releasing seriousness. This is the inner child card. It can indicate that you're needing to allow for some time to play, to be free. It might also be a time to start setting the table for how you're going to free yourself, how you're going to give yourself that time and space to spread your wings. I feel like this next month, Scorpio, you're just going to be a little bit more sensitive than usual. And yet this sensitivity could be channeled to something of benefit to you. Feelings are fuel, and where you let them flow can really energize something. And so what I'm feeling like is you're needing to energize your life by letting your feelings flow toward what gives you joy and happiness and what gives you hope and possibility. You got 2 very good cards going into August here. And so it's so important that you're just letting your heart be free. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius or have a lot of Sag in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August. And you got the Moon card. The Moon is a card of instincts and intuition, and it really tells you to follow those instincts. The Moon is incredibly psychic, very intuitive card, and it could just say that you're really tuned in, Sagittarius, this next month. You need to trust your hunches, trust where your feelings are guiding you. Also, the Moon card is a card of seeing not things 100% clearly on your path. Sort of like you're traversing the distance through moonlight, and you look in the distance and you can't tell if there's a dog there or a wolf there. What is that? I can't quite make it out. And yet, there is enough light to still proceed. The Moon card can indicate that this is a time to let more information come to the surface before you make a snap judgment about it. But always listen to your instincts when the Moon appears. Listen to your feelings. The Moon in Latin is luna, where we get our word in English lunatic from. So when we repress our feelings, don't listen to our instincts, don't listen to what we really feel, we can start to feel crazy or unlucky or off course. And I just kind of feel like things are still playing out. They're still coming to light this next month. So trust your hunches, and you're going to find your pathway fine. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Sagittarius for this next month of August, is the Two of Pentacles. And this is a card of unpredictability. This card says, expect the unexpected. You know, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. There could be some random events that kind of steer things in a different direction. And you need to be good-natured and humored through that experience, much like the juggler on the card. He's also flexible and adaptable. The figure on this card has an elastic quality to him. And there's those wavy waters behind him. In fact, on the Moon card too, there's the wavy waters. And this can really indicate that emotions are running on high. It can also indicate that there's unexpected fluctuations that are happening around you. And yet, even with that, the Two of Pentacles is saying that there's opportunity in the air. There's a chance to change your way, to shift your focus toward what's going to actually work for you in the future. And so I think you need fluidity and adaptability. That element of water is so important this next month for you, Sagittarius. And like water, you need to choose the smoothest course, the path of least resistance. And you also need to keep your sense of humor this next month and listen to your hunches. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn or have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August. The card we get here is the Empress, which is my all-time favorite card. The Empress is the mother goddess of the tarot, and she's that quiet little voice in your inner ear that's whispering, everything's going to be okay, because everything's growing just as it's supposed to. The Empress governs nature, and this could be a time to get back in touch with your own nature. She's also an unmatched symbol for abundance and success. So if you've been worried about lack or scarcity or not having enough, the Empress smiles at you and pours out her bounty to you. The Empress is also a nurturer. She's the mother of the tarot. So this could be a time when you're nurturing a project or maybe even a person. But it's time to give of your own heart. And finally, the Empress is an unmatched love archetype. She's got that shield in the shape of a heart emblazoned with the symbol of Venus, the goddess of love. This could be a time to open your heart as well. The advice from your inner wisdom, however, this next month, Capricorn, is the King of Cups reversed. And when the King of Cups comes up reversed, he can indicate that it's time to release old blockages emotionally, things that are repeated from the past, like an old movie reel that you just keep going back to, an old narrative that you've outgrown. Sometimes this card can indicate that there's a lot of tumultuous emotions or feelings happening in your environment, and you need to stay grounded and not swept out to sea. Upright or reversed, when I see the King of Cups, I think of the word anchor. And so this is such an important month for you to stay anchored in the wisdom of the Empress. Everything is growing as it should. It might take a little longer than you hoped for or expected, and yet don't get bent out of shape emotionally this next month. It's also time to be emotionally mature and just to govern your feelings and rule them so you're not ruled by them. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for August 2024. And we get the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Now, when the Nine of Pentacles comes up reversed, it will indicate that it's time to raise your standards in some way. It could be raising your standards of excellence, leveling up. It could also just indicate that it's time for you to stop accepting something that's been subpar, not good enough for you, and instead to raise the bar for that thing. This could be a time where you're not accepting second best anymore. This could be in relationships, career, or just in a lifestyle choice. You only got one lifetime where you are in the form you're in, and you might as well make it the most blissful, happy, and successful lifetime you can. And Nine of Pentacles reversed is telling you to stop being blind or deadened in your senses to things that aren't up to snuff. So I just feel like this is an important month for you, Aquarius, to identify that which can improve and to really not accept anything but the best. Advice from your inner wisdom, however, for this next month, if you're an Aquarius, is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is the messenger of love in the tarot. He's also the messenger of your bliss. And the answer is very clear to me with that Nine of Pentacles reversed. Like Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss, follow your passion, and go toward it. And once you figure out what that is, don't let anybody turn you away from it. The Knight of Cups is also a brave messenger of love. And you might think it doesn't really require bravery for love to happen. And yet love can be rather frightening. It can be scary to be vulnerable. There's a quest opening up for you, Aquarius, where you're allowing your own heart to open. And you need to trust the message. You need to trust its message for where it's leading you. The Knight of Cups is telling you to be declarative about your feelings, to set your sights and speak them aloud, and to just go for it. And with that Nine of Pentacles reversed, don't accept anything but the best. And finally, last but not least, let's go into the astrological sign of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces, here is your message for August 2024. First, we get the Ten of Pentacles, which is where you should be placing your focus. Ten of Pentacles shows a family scene. So on a very basic level, it could say focus on your family or your chosen family, the people that you trust, your community, the people that support you. Ten of Pentacles is also a card of long-term stability, long-term security. And I think it's so important for you to stay focused on what your legacy is. Also, there's an ancestral kind of vibe to this card. So it could be a time where you're letting your own ancestors guide your path, or you're learning from their example and listening to the wisdom that comes from them. Ten of Pentacles can also indicate that the major goals that you have may not be all completed in this next month. Rome wasn't built in a day. However, there is a long-lasting success when we see a Pentacles card like this. And so I just feel like a long-term investment, even if it's a bit of a grind, is going to end up benefiting you. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Pisces, for this next month of August, is the Hermit reversed. And when the Hermit comes up reversed, he indicates that it's time to leave your solitude. It's time to rejoin the land of the living. When we couple that with that Ten of Pentacles card, it could be a time to reconnect with family, community, or the wider world. It's time to get out into the world, to build something, to do something in it. Pisces can sometimes be super comfortable to retreat, to be in their emotions, to be in that psychic realm, and yet that Hermit reversed is saying you've done that work there. Now it's time to rejoin the external world. It's time to effect some change there. And it's only by returning to that external world that you're able to share the gifts that you've accumulated by doing your work on yourself. And so I feel like this is going to be a month where it's important for you to take the plunge and move forward, even if it's easier to retreat. And that was this month's Tarotscope for August 2024. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always schedule a one-on-one tarot session with me at my website, elliotoracle.com. You'll be able to see my calendar of availability and pick the slot that works best for you. And I can't wait to get into all of your specific questions about your own path. If you found this video useful, why not share it with a friend, please? Also, please like, share, subscribe, maybe even comment. That really does help the channel grow. And it helps bring a more empowering approach to tarot to a world that I think desperately needs it with all the fear-based interpretations that are out there. I do hope you have a wonderful August, whatever it is that you're doing, and that you stay empowered and stay focused on your best potential. And I will see you again here next month for September's Tarotscope. So do take care of yourself and each other, and I will see you then.